Good evening. Am I audible? Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Am I audible?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. Yes, sir, you are audible.
Good evening, sir.
So before starting of my today's session, so if you have any kind of query, just ask me. So let it discuss on that. If you have any doubt, anything you have, then just ask me. Yes. Or you can write in the SMS, through SMS, you can also write in the chat box, you can write. Shall I start?
Sir, your
Yes, sir.
video
Yes,
is
sir.
not
Yes,
clear.
Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, your video is not clear.
Okay, so let me start with the second portion of Unit 1. Okay, so we have discussed the basic meaning of human resource management. What human resource management is, that we have discussed. And we have also discussed the scope of human resource management. See, human resource management is one segment, or we can say one part of the organization which controls the entire system. Like we can say that different departments are there in the organization: marketing, finance, production, ISM, HR. Okay, these are the different departments. Basically, we segregate the organization into different departments, where human resource is one part. Now, basically, what happened? HR department administers, controls, or HR department usually implements different rules, regulations to move towards the achievement of organizational goal. So HR department controls the entire system, and all other departments basically run under the policies governed by the HR department. Right. Now, let's say in what I studied in the last class, I told you, if any vacancies are there in marketing, then the marketing department is to refer it to the HR department, and HR department will start the process of recruitment, selection, and imparting training, then orientation, induction. Then they will induct the persons in their respective department. After inducting, the HR department also monitors their performance. Then accordingly, wages, salaries, incentives are fixed. And when that person will get the retirement, the HR department serves. So these things which we have discussed, I request please mute all of you, please mute yourself, so that there should not be any disturbances while taking up the class. So I'm not like ମୁଁ ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କୁ ଏଠୁ mute କରୁ ନାହିଁ, କାହିଁକି ନା କେତେବେଳେ if you have any query then you cannot ask me. So ଆପଣମାନେ ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କ ତରଫରୁ mute କରିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ. If any doubt is there, then you unmute yourself. When I ask, you unmute yourself and you tell. If I ask any questions, then at that point you unmute and then you tell. Okay. Now next is, I will start with the objectives of human resource management. In the long question, one part question may come: what are the different objectives of human resource management, a department or HRM? Basically, I have stated the scope. In the scope I have written or discussed yesterday. Whatever objective you read, any book if you have, then you read.
सूरज फोन कल उठौने मो कॉल भी सिंह सर कॉल करते तो उठौने मो हां काय तो कथा होते
Please mute yourself first. Please mute yourself.
Sorry, sir.
Now,
Sorry,
see,
sir.
yesterday, please mute yourself. Yesterday, we discussed the scope of human resource management. Now, my point is that whatever objectives, or we can say the basic outcome of HR department, we have discussed. Now, when you are getting a question on objectives of human resource management, the outcome or the objectives can be easily identified in these scopes. So, जेतबेले scope लिखले गोटे question रे आसी पारे, another question you may get the objectives of human resource management. I am not describing the objectives in a different form. Why? Because it is easier on your part to remember. You have remembered the scope, then you just think of the scope. One scope is that this is applied in HR department for the employees. Then how the concept of HR will be benefited for the employees, then will be benefited for the group, then it will be benefited for the organization, society, nation, and international. In that way, you can write the answer. One question you may get the scope, another question you may get as the objective of human resource management. Now, from employees' point of view, skillful employees, we can say skillful employees. Okay, happy employees, retention of employees, we can retain the employees for a longer days. These are the objectives of HRM. From group point of view, better coordination, better communication. So these are the outcome of or objective of group, the objective of HRM from group point of view. It is not required to write down the objective under this head. You just think of in which way the HR department is helpful for the employees, in which way this HR department is helpful for the group. Why I am telling all those things? Because I want to simplify this topic so that you can remember, you can answer the questions. See, आपण माने सबु HR department उपरे जानी चंती. You can think the answers, but it is very difficult to convert your thought process into pen and paper. When you start writing, the languages may not come to your mind, but you need to write the answer and for passing of that particular paper. So, kemiti likhibe, that kind of trick I am trying to deliver. Now, what is that? Just think of how this HR department is helpful for the employees, how the HR department is helpful for the group, in which way the HR department maintains a cordial communication system in the group. The HR department maintains a cordial relationship, group cohesiveness, group dynamism. Okay, so these are the objectives from HR at group level, then organizational level. Organization will prosper, organization will continue, organization will sustain. Okay, organization will give better service. So these are the outcome from group point, organization point. Likewise society, likewise nation, likewise international. So eta gote part question, either gote long question re 4 mark ro question thai pare. Define human resource management, discuss the objectives, scopes, and the challenges faced by the HR department. बुझी पारलो. सो एमती गोटे क्वेश्चन आसी पारे तादर ऑब्जेक्टिव गोटे 3 मार्क रो हमें डिफाइन भाबी बाता भितरे. सो try to find out at least 2 to 3 points from each of the group, right? You define the scope in a different form, you define the objective in a different form. I hope you got my point so that you can answer the questions. किछि डाउट आ भितरे रहिला कि पिला माने?
No, sir.
Okay, बुझी पारले मु काहे कि कहूची why I am trying to tell all those things, because ultimatum is that you will write the answer. So how you will write the answer? Relate karo. Eita ko ya sita relate kari I can answer the questions. So this is what is the objective. Now the second question, just write it down. What are the role of a HR manager? Write down the different roles of a HR manager. What are the challenges? What are the challenges faced by the HR manager in the 21st century? What are the challenges faced by the HR manager in the 21st century? What are the challenges faced by the HR manager in the 21st century? What are the challenges faced by the HR manager in the 21st century? What challenges I usually face while continuing this program, while conducting an exam, right? One is that different roles, different activities, and the challenges faced by the HR department or HR manager. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you can see similar kind of questions you may get in other paper also. What are the challenges faced by the marketing department? What are the challenges faced by the manager in the 21st century in MCP paper? So, what are the challenges faced by the employee while understanding the behavior of the employees in OB paper? So, similar questions may come in different way, but more or less the answers are same. Kichita answers saman hobo. Now, what are the role of a HR manager that I will complete today, and the challenges? Okay, so I have written role of a manager. So there is a chapter in your role of a manager. Now that chapter, there you will discuss the means parts. Ten-factor role. Your madam will discuss that means parts 10-factor role, but I will not discuss anything from that because there you will discuss. Here also, if you are getting the question role of HR manager, then just think of the means parts 10-factor role. What will be covered in your MCP paper? You can write it here. Because HR khata jane dekhibo, MCP khata au jane dekhibo, sei jinsota ethi madhya apan mane lekhi paribe. Dekhontu, you need to link the answers. So sethi role or etika role more or less saman. But here I will discuss the role. What role I am discussing, I will write it down, and I request all of you also to write, so that you can compare the role what I have written it here and the role what you will discuss in means parts 10-factor role. Either father figure padibo, firefighting role padibo. So mu eti kon korchi kote where define kar debi so that you can easily remember. One is that the HR manager plays the role of a coordinator, because he needs to coordinate with different groups, team, organization, individual. Coordination with individual to individual, coordination with individual to organization, organization to individual, group to group, organization to organization. So this is one role. You need to define how it is being described, how it is to be described. Then HR manager plays the role of a coordinator. HR manager plays the role of a communicator. Answer think as a manager in your organization how you coordinate, as a manager in your organization how you communicate. That is your role, and similarly the HR manager role is also same. So communicator, he needs to communicate with each and one and all. Clear communication must be there with simple.
Sir, your voice is
cracking. So you need to.
Sir, your voice is cracking.
Down the basics of communication, and so that
Sir, we are unable to hear you.
He needs to cooperate.
Sir, we are unable to hear you.
Don't say we, you tell I, because I don't know about others. You are not able to hear, just try to locate your network first. Okay, coordinator, communicator, corporator. The HR manager corporates, because see, the people are here also sitting, they are able to hear me. Okay, so coordinator, communicator, corporator. One is that the HR manager coordinates the task, HR manager communicates. At that time, the HR manager plays the role of a communicator. The HR manager plays the role of a corporator. The HR manager basically try to resolve the conflicts, try to minimize the conflicts. We can say cooperation. Another side represents, we can say, conflict. So conflict has two sides. If we are continuing with the conflicting situation, then that will give a stressful condition. Now we cannot avoid conflict, because conflict gives new dimensions. Conflict has positive side, conflict has negative side. Now When the HR manager minimizes the conflict, then at that point of time, he plays the role of a conflict minimizer. The HR manager controls the entire system. When he tries to control, at that point of time, controller. He plays the role of a controller. He plays the role of a controller. Okay. He plays the role of a controller.
Sir,
your
what was
voice
fourth
is
one?
cracking.
The HR manager plays the role of a conflict minimizer. Okay, so what are the different roles played by the HR manager? Coordinator, corporator, minimizer, controller. Another is that crisis handler. He's there to handle the crisis. If any kind of crisis situations are there, he is there to manage it. He's there to manage it. Then these are the basic roles. Okay, so you can remember in that way. So what are the roles of HR manager? He coordinates, he communicates, he cooperates, he minimizes conflict, he controls the entire system, and he also manages the crisis. Whatever crisis arises or any crisis will arise, then he needs to manage it. He also implements change implementer. Okay, he also implements change. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to start all those roles from the letter C so that you can remember it. So these are the different roles. Just if you are getting a question, what are the different roles played by a manager in the HR manager in the 21st century? Then elaborate this. At least try to write 1 or 2 lines in each of the role so that you can easily answer the questions. Now, next
sir.
question is that, yes.
Sir, what is written in last point?
Change implementer. Change implementer. He is there to implement changes. Then next is, can anyone tell me what are the challenges we usually face in the organization? What kind of challenges generally we are facing? Any idea on that? For which we are implementing change. See, challenges are there. If you are able to accept the challenges in a positive way and you are taking steps, then you can able to implement what? Change. If you are able to implement change, then what can be done? You can develop. So our point is not to discuss about change and development. Our point is that the challenges generally faced by a manager. Now, can anyone tell me what are the different challenges are there? Any points? Anyone, if you want to share?
Manager
Please.
have to act as a role for different critical situation and different field condition and the site condition. They have to face the different challenges.
Manager has to see the overall sales of the team, of the performance of the team also. Why are they lacking or doing something which is not suitable for them?
Okay. Any other challenges?
Sir, a manager have to also check the behavior between the employees of the company so that the work should go on the way smoothly.
Any other challenges? See, whatever challenges you are telling, all relate to one parameter, all relate to one factor.
Sir, talent and retention, actually giving the right directions.
Then this also relate to one factor. That means whatever challenges, if I'm asking, what are the challenges generally faced by HR manager, you can club together and put into under one head, that is human resource challenge. Okay. Are you getting a point? Now, whatever challenges, whatever points, one is that retention, one is that knowledge, one is that we can say we need to coordinate the work among the employees. So whatever point you are telling, these all can be clubbed together and put under one human resource challenge. Similarly, many challenges are there. Are you getting it? Similarly, many challenges are there for which we need to implement change. If challenge no asibo, we will never implement change. What a challenge asila yesterday is that while taking up the class, I saw a fake name appear. Okay, and there someone shared the screen with a whiteboard, and before that person like delivering something on that whiteboard, I just rejected that person, and I started with a new way. And today we implement the change. Also enter with the with their mail ID. The challenge city thila, we try to implement change. We will face, certainly while implementation of change, we will certainly face hurdles. Hurdles the face kariba. The resistance are always there. People will resist. I saw many SMS in the morning that sir, I am unable to join, unable to connect. See, resistances are there. But you need to go with that so that change will be implemented so that you can develop. Development is that if you will go with the mail ID, then what will happen? No outsiders can join. More concept. So there are different kind of challenges are there. One is, I will start with my points. One is the competition. Can anyone tell me how competition is a challenge? Any idea?
Sir, can you repeat it once again?
How competition is a challenge in front of the manager, in front of the organization. Yes? मते किए कहि परिबे कंपटीशन केमिति गोटे चैलेंज मोडी लेखि देली बोली आपण माने ताकू ये करिवे नाही हाउ कंपटीशन इज वन काइंड ऑफ चैलेंज
Sir, competition makes a manager to get confident to make different ideas so that they can improve their organization.
Any other points? Any other points? How competition is one kind of challenge? Anyone want to share?
Sir,
yes.
যদি କେତେ ଜଣଙ୍କର performance same ରହିବ ତାହେଲେ ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ choose କରିବା ଗୋଟେ
ପ୍ରଫିଟ ବଢୁଛି ତାଙ୍କର ସେଲ୍ସ ବଢୁଛି ମାର୍କେଟରେ ତାଙ୍କ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ବଢୁଛି ଏପଟେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ବି ଏମ୍ପ୍ଲୟି ମ୍ୟାନେଜର ବସନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କ ମୁଣ୍ଡରେ ବି ଟିକେ ଚିନ୍ତା ପଡେ ତାଙ୍କ ମିଟିଂ ରେ ବି ଚିନ୍ତା ପଡେ କି ଆମେ ସଷ୍ଟେନ କରିବା ସର୍ଭାଇଭ କରିବା କଣ କରିବା ସବୁବେଳେ ଟେନସନ ଟା ମାଇଣ୍ଡ ରେ ରହେ
See, this market is very competitive. Earlier it was monopoly, then whatever we wanted to do, we usually do with that. We usually go with that. Now in the competitive market, if you want to remain yourself, if you want to sustain for a longer days, then you need to upgrade yourself. You need to compete with your competitors. If they are giving discount, then instantly you need to give discount. Instantly you need to upgrade the product. Instantly you need to change in the product qualities and its prices also. So competition plays a bigger challenge nowadays. Okay, once it is done, then another challenges is there is your HR challenges. Now, what are the challenges generally faced by the HR manager? One is competition. Another is your HR challenges where the employees puts constant challenge in front of the department. Now, as you people are giving challenge to us, that means, sir, aji audio subilani, sir, aji video disilani. So these are the challenges we need to upgrade it. We are working on it regularly. Now we need to retain the people. We need to retain the organization. We need to retain the people by giving right kind of place, right kind of position, right kind of task. Then we need to upgrade them with training programs, by conducting training programs. We need to give them salary. We need to promote them. Okay, so these are the basics with which we need to provide the employees so that this challenge will be reduced, so that we can create a happy environment in the organization. So HR challenges, which you have already stated, all the points. So you can write these. These are the challenges where we usually face. One is competition, one is HR challenges. Next is your what I have written, automation, or we can say AI, artificial intelligence. Now it is not the era of automation, it is the era of artificial intelligence. The intelligence is there, but it is artificially developed. No human brains are there. But the machine will identify how much water is to be given in that machine, how much ingredients are to be given in that machine. Automatically the machine will read. So it is a challenge in front of us. You need to upgrade yourself. The technology, this is the technology part. The technology part are broadly divided into three. Tinita part of technology ko divide karo. One is your manual technology. Initially it started. A baby chalchi manual technology. Manual technology कौन आमे suppose कौन करिवा देखिबा traffic post रे traffic inspector चिड़ाई केठी left right करी देखौची light देखौची sign देखौची flag देखौची these are all your manual technology. Then slowly we upgraded from manual to mechanized. We moved from manual to mechanized. What is mechanized? Mechanized is that you might be seeing while crossing the level crossing देखिबा गोटे लोकटे एमती पुली करके लेवल क्रॉसिंग ट्रेन रो एपट सपोर्ट जो रास्ता क्रॉस कर ताको बंद करे पे गाड़ी को रखिया पे गोटे ये करथबो. This is all your mechanized. Machines are used. In manual, higher level of human factor. In mechanized, higher level of machines are used. Then slowly that machine converted into automation. Automatically the things will happen. Red light jalla, orange light jalla, green light jalla. These are all automated. Now these automation again move to AI. Now see, these are the technologies which are being used in the organization. Simultaneously, it's a challenge in front of the organization to adapt such, and people should have the knowledge on that. We need to train the people to accept such technologies. So what are the basic challenges which you usually face? One is your competition, HR challenge, automation for which we implement change. Next is your what is that? Need of the stakeholder. Luckily, need to fulfill need of the customer, need of the market, need of the financer, need of the banker, need of the society. Jette stakeholder, who are they? Stakeholders are the parties, are the individuals, those who are directly ki ote pachari pare ote question apun suppose jete interview re kon huye so question ase or question ru answer ru question ase. So what is that? Suppose you have answered a question and you have utilized that term stakeholder. Instantly a question may come, who is stakeholder? Who are they? Now stakeholders are those who are directly or indirectly associated with the business practices. The banker is one stakeholder, the financer is one stakeholder, the organization, the organization itself is stakeholder, the employees are stakeholder, the market is stakeholder, customers are stakeholder. So we need to find out who are they, and we need to fulfill their needs. Now maximum needs relate with the customer and employee. Need fulfill we need to fulfill the customer's need as well as the employee's need. There are different ways are there with which we need to fulfill the needs. Marketing advertise, you will read all those in your marketing management. We need to fulfill the needs of the market from different aspects, from varieties of aspects. We need to categorize the market segment. We are segmenting the market, we are categorizing the market from different aspects, from different prospects. One is that age wise we are defining. Chinta karantu, eti market segmentation pole asibo. We are dividing the market as per age, as per gender, as per we can say income, as per we can say rural or urban, as per area, okay, as per education, as per class, high class, low class, medium class. Now when we segment the market, the needs will also come like that. We need to produce the product for all age group. Choto pila pai holics, child holics, mother holics, father holics, diabetic holics, chocolate holics. See, holics is same. The name is common. Only we are diversifying the product as per the market so that will fulfill the needs of the consumer, customer. So needs of the market as per age wise, as per gender wise. Gender wise hame कहूचे कि किछि product hame define करूछु only for the male, some products are only defined for the female. Let's say hame कहिबा hame कोड heavy bullet bike, that bike is for female and the scooty kind of thing are female. Nowadays the male are driving scooty and female are driving bike also. Now we can say that I was going through an advertisement where a specific face wash is for male group and specific face wash for female group. And in the advertisement in the product we itself write. That means gender wise we are dividing. Why? Because we are there to fulfill the need. Similarly, we can say as per the area wise, education wise, as per the class wise. So the needs are to be fulfilled considering their segments, considering their class, considering their age. So these are the different challenges which we face. One is a competition, HR challenge, automation, need of the customer, and need of the stakeholder. Then next is your what I have written. What I have written? Globalization. I know you cannot read. Okay, when I will tell, then you can relate the my version with this writing. Globalization. What is global? I mean, coach, go global, from local to global. So you need to globalize your product so that worldwide your name will come. So that is another challenge. Another is one challenge that you need to go beyond the country. Another is that a challenge is there from the global market. A foreign market is entering to our Indian market. It's a challenge. Now, global market, when the global market is entering into the Indian market, then it puts challenge in front of the local market. It puts challenges in front of the local market. So suppose, for example, Coca-Cola is a global product. Now, it puts challenge in front of the local market. Kinley, challenge soda, those are not available in the market. The reason is that the local soda could not face the challenge from the bigger one, from the bigger products. So that went out of the market. So what is that? Globalization usually puts a diversified challenge in front of the local market. Now it is also a challenge in front of the HR manager. Now next is, what are the challenges? Competition, we can say HR challenges, automation, need of the customer, globalization. Next is your economic factors. We need to strengthen our economic factors. We need to save money. What it includes? Your profit maximization and wealth maximization. It's a challenge for us. Then side by side we need to strengthen our economic conditions. How much money you have saved? I have not saved a single pie. Why? You are earning a lot. Earning a lot. At the end of the month, I don't have a pie to feed my family. Why? Because I spend money. Different challenges are there. But still, you need to save for your future apart from facing such challenges. With this challenge, you need to face, you need to save. So that is how economic parameters are to be considered. Always we need to strengthen, because this will support all this. If you are strengthful in this aspect, then you can compete, you can satisfy, you can change, you can implement changes in automation, you can fulfill the need, and you can go global. Concepts can be adopted. So these are the basic challenges generally faced by a HR manager, and for which we implement change. Okay, buझिपारलो पिला माने? Second question.
Yes, sir.
Koi pariba kono point guda without looking at this? Anyone can tell me? Don't look at your script. Just try to remember what are the different challenges faced by a manager. See, I have given certain points. These points are not specific. So from multiple points, I have identified 5 or 6 broad points. If you can remember it, then you can elaborate the answer. Manipulation of writing the answer is the best technique. Okay, can anyone tell me what are the challenges? Please, quickly. You
Automation, globalization,
Economical factors.
globalization, economic
Need
factor,
of the stakeholders.
competition.
Okay, very good. Now, what the concept says? The concept says that we need to face the challenge. Why? What is the purpose of facing of challenges?
Change.
Huh?
Change.
So HR manager role to implement change constantly. Now, what are the challenges are there? Please still once again.
Competition,
Competition,
globalization,
globalization, economical factor, need of change of stakeholder.
stakeholders.
Once again, tell.
Globalization.
What is
Competition,
Competition,
automation,
challenge.
cooperation,
Automation.
Need of stakeholder,
automation,
globalization.
economic
Need of
factor.
stakeholder. Globalization. Economic factor.
it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So these are the challenges. So what question we have discussed? One question we have discussed the role of HR manager, objectives of HRM. See, more of Duita class I wanted to devote for unit 1. I'm trying to complete the unit 1 today. The another is that the activities of the HR department or HR manager. What are the activities of a HR manager? We have already discussed. तमे जदि किछि न मने पडिबो सेई जो क्वेश्चन पडिथिला मु काली जोडे डिस्कशन करिथिली रिक्रूटमेंट सिलेक्शन ट्रेनिंग ओरिएंटेशन इंडक्शन परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल पोटेंशियल अप्रेजल वेलफेयर वेजेस सैलरी रिटायरमेंट बेनिफिट्स सेगुडा को भी लिखि पाइ बट सेटा जदि गोटे क्वेश्चन पडिछि लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन रे आ गोटे क्वेश्चन पडि गला एचआरएम ऊपर गोटे क्वेश्चन आ एचआर मैनेजर ऊपर गोटे क्वेश्चन आसी गला देन यू कैन नॉट राइट द सेम हियर जदि कॉपी पेस्ट कर देलो जदि से इवैल्यूएटर टिके टिंगा थिबो तो एटा कोन सेठी कॉपी पेस्ट कर देलो then you need to answer differently. So what are the roles or we can say what are the activities of HR manager in the 21st century? Diversified organization रे कोन activity ताकू प्ले करिबा को पड़िबो मु कहूची आपण माने सब लेखि जान quickly you write जो माने न लिखि पारछन्ती please don't ask in between मु भाबुची बदे ता भितरे आपण मानक ग्रुप रे मध्ये शेयर कर दउती please write it quickly. Okay, one is that I have only 20 minutes. I will discuss it today. So that unit 1 I will cover. Tomorrow I will start with manpower planning and recruitment and selection. Okay. Now first is that first activity, task of a HR manager is to attract and retain the employees. What is that? Attracting and retaining the employees. This is what first activity. Mu attract karibi bhalo lokonko ebong taku try karibi retain kariya pe. We have done the same thing. We have tried to attract the best students and we wanted to retain them. For that only we are imparting study materials, books, we are interacting with them, we are conducting the classes. Okay, so we try to attract these employees and we wanted to retain them. This is first. Next is that the manager always intend to make the organization as the best one. So people will feel that a home away from home or best place to work. Okay, सब सुविधा थिबो त माने जदि डीडीसी आस्थिबो एटी क्लासरूम भारी अपरिष्कार थिबो लाइट नथिबो फैन नथिबो वॉशरूम क्लीन नथिबो एटी गाड़ी ठीक से पार्किंग करिया को जगह नथिबो okay then you will not feel good. Okay, so what is that? The manager, HR manager always wanted to make the organization as the best place to work. Still we are trying on that, best place to work. Okay, so what is that? First is that attracting and retaining the employees. Next is best place to work. Next, another is that the HR manager creates a competitive environment, creating a competitive environment. Creating competitive environment. What is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of creating competitive environment? If competition among the employees is there, then they will start producing more. They will start producing good, better, so that today he produced, tomorrow I will produce. So that we can know who are the skilled, who are the unskilled, who are the semi-skilled, who are the high-skilled employees. So that we can know to whom the training is required. So that we can know how much the task is to be allotted. The minimum task is to be fixed for the employees. Are you getting a point? So, outcome competition, creating competitive environment within the organization so that people will compete with, employees will compete with other employees. Okay, next is that developing team and individual. What is that? We need to develop the team as well as the individual. Okay, the manager is, or the HR manager always tries to develop the team, not only team but also individual. Individual is micro, team is group. Group development must be there, individual development must be there through conduct of different kind of training, counseling, guiding. Many kind of practices are generally adopted. Developing team and individual, constant activities are to be conducted. Next is that empowerment. What is empowerment? Can anyone tell me? What is empowerment?
Making
No, sir.
motivating the group or the team for doing some work or
then what is empowerment? You are telling the answer, but it is the outcome of empowerment. It is the outcome of empowerment. Then what is empowerment?
सशक्तिकरण.
Upgrade.
Very good. Sashaktikarana. Then what is that?
Upgrade the organization people.
Rightly you are telling, but
So providing trainings. So providing trainings.
so that is one approach of empowering. Empowerment is otherwise known as delegation of power. We are empowering. Your father is empowering you to take the decision, right? So it is otherwise known as autonomy. It is otherwise known as freedom for expressing your views. Term, different term to identify with. Delegation of power, autonomy, freedom for expression of ideas, fact, emotion, sentiment, feeling, knowledge. Okay, so this is what is other we can say. So what is empowerment? The manager is to empower the people based on the development, based on the competitive environment. If empowerment is not there, then it is useless. It is useless. It is also useless. When the one point we will work simultaneously, all the points are required. Whatever point I will write it down, it is very easy to remember. At least you can write it down at least minimum 10 to 15 points if you can able to remember it. So what is that? It is attracting and retaining the employees, best place to work, creating competitive environment, developing team and individual, empowerment or empowering the employees, develop delegation of power or autonomy or freedom. Okay. So next is another is that fair.
माना करियो ना अमी मैं झटकों ये करूं मेरे साथ ये होने दूंगा
Mute.
चुप ये करो
Please mute.
खा ले एक दो उसको है खा ले एक ही खाने का चीज उसका करता ही बिल्कुल अल्लाह ताला बहुत गुनाह देगा
Yes. Okay. Now what is that? Fair employment opportunities. The organization should create one environment. Transparency must be there. किसी hidden terminology नथिबो आपण मानु हमें कहबो कि एतिकी टंका आपण माने देके कोर्स कंटिन्यू करिवे आफ्टर टेकिंग अप एडमिशन if you start demanding more money then what will happen if people will start resisting if people will oppose or some will pay the money with dissatisfaction ना बाध्य संस्था हमको कहितले 70 72 हजार टका देखलो हमको कोन 5000 टका मागिलेनी so it is unfair practice so fair means whatever you are telling you need to deliver that. So that kind of activities have to be adopted in the organization. Fair employment opportunities. Next is your guiding and monitoring. Constant you need to guide the HR manager activities to guide the employees. Is to give feedback accordingly. So guiding and monitoring another activity. Next is that high standard of living, high standard of living. Okay, quality of work life hame kahuche, quality of work life, high status. Then you will not feel bad in front of others, in front of your competitors. Okay, what I remember, I was a student of Baniwar Utkal University High School. It's a ODM medium school. When our dressing kind of thing, school dress was something lower than the English medium school. When we when we compete with the English medium school, we just try to see their dressing code. See that nowadays these things matters a lot. So that is how you need to maintain high standard of living by providing welfare facilities and other amenities. Okay, you need to provide all those by providing welfare amenities and other things. So what are the points? Attracting, retaining, best place, creating competitive, developing team individual, empowerment, fair employment opportunities, guiding and monitoring, high standard of living. Then next is your interpersonal relationships. What is the next point? It is all about your interpersonal relationships. Okay, it is all about your, okay, we can say responsibility also. Responsibilities or activities. Someone written that is it responsibility? Yes, it is the responsibility and activities of a HR manager. Now, what is that high standard of living and interpersonal? His work also includes to create one kind of cordial environment, interpersonal relationship with the people. Inter and intra, these are two terms. You will read all those in conflict. Inter-conflict, intra-conflict. How these two are different. Okay, inter-conflict and intra-conflict. Interpersonal relationship, intrapersonal relationship. Now, interpersonal relationship is there with which we can create one relationship with which we can create a bond. Group cohesiveness can be developed. Then next is that job satisfaction. I will not tell much on that because there is a chapter in your OB paper, Unit 3, you will read motivation, there you will read job satisfaction. A theory was on that. Frederick Husberg, H-E-R-Z-B-E-R-G, Frederick Husberg developed the two-factor theory. Two-factor theory. One factor relates with motivation, another factor relates with hygiene factor. This hygiene factor relates with motivation. बुझी पाले आपण माने सेतरे पढिबे मु एबे किछि जॉब सैटिस्फैक्शन ऊपर कहूनी आपण जदी मु क्वेश्चन पचरी हाउ जॉब सैटिस्फैक्शन एंड मोटिवेशन आर डिफरेंट व्हिच वन इज हायर आपण माने आंसर एफर्ट्स कर देबे मते जदी केतले समय मिलिबो देन आई विल स्पीक मोर ऑन दैट बट क्रिएटिंग ए सैटिस्फाइड ग्रुप ऑफ एम्प्लॉइज in the organization is another activity. Just remember that, don't go into detail. Okay, so what is the satisfaction of employees, satisfied employees, job satisfaction. Next is your knowledge management. Knowledge management. What is the next? Knowledge management. लिखी दे जानतो आपण माने भाबुले कोन सार लिखुछन हमें पढी परनु. I will give all the soft copy materials to you. You will get after the completion of this course. I will give, I mean to say class, contact class. I will also give the soft copy material. I will circulate. So write it. Knowledge management. We need to manage the knowledge. Means हमें लोगों को manage करछु ता बारे we need to manage the knowledge. This knowledge can be identified as talent. Knowledge is to be transferred. Knowledge is to be transferred, but talent is to be transformed. So transfer move on knowledge ta transfer koruchi tom manuko, but when tome se knowledge ku nei ki how you are like working on that so that you can become a talented one. So knowledge is to be managed so that talented people will be created in the organization. So what is that? Knowledge management. Next is your liberalizing the employees. Okay. Liberalizing the employees. We need to liberalize the people. We need to give freedom for expression. So that is all about your liberalizing the employees. So what are the points? What are the basic activities of a HR manager or responsibility of a HR manager? To attract and retain people, best place to work, creating competitive environment, developing team and individual, empowerment, fair employment opportunities, guiding and monitoring high standard of living, interpersonal relationship, job satisfaction, knowledge management, liberalizing the people. Okay, next is that.
Sir, can you repeat the last point?
Liberalizing. So we have liberalized you. So liberalization leads to privatization. Privatization leads to globalization. Flexibility must be there. LPG hame padhuche. So LPG you may get a question. What is that LPG is? Kiye kohiba? What is that? Liberalizing, privatizing, globalizing. Eta concept amar growth. Okay. Aku mu emti parikha khatare dekhichi pila mane liquid profile gas endur kon likhi diye petroleum gas. Okay, taku bi pila emti taku elaborate kari pade asche. So basics of LPG is your liberalizing, privatizing, and globalizing. We need to liberalize the people. We need to liberalize the organization. We need to liberalize the rules and regulations. Then we can think of privatization. Then the globalization concept will arise. Next is your motivating the people. Next is your we are negotiating. The HR manager activity includes negotiation. Negotiation is identified with consideration. Negotiation is identified with we can say both the parties should come to one point. I mean bargain karo negotiate karo. So HR manager usually negotiates. So if you are not negotiating, then what will happen? A challenging kind of thing will arise. Conflict will arise. People will resist. People will oppose. People will go for strike. So negotiations are another part of activity of a HR manager. So negotiations must be there. Next is your optimum utilization of resources. Optimum utilization of resources. I am not writing down maximum. I am writing optimum. Eti mote pacharibar scope nai non nischint rupe ame discussion karithante. But still, what do you mean by optimum? Optimum is that whenever it is required, utilize it. Whenever it is not required, just save it. Conserve. So then what will happen? Wastage of resources will reduce. I am in the classroom, in this classroom. Whenever I am in the classroom, I will switch on the lights. When I will go outside, what I will do? I will switch off the lights. When I am inside, I will switch on. When I will go out, I will switch off. In the offline class, I have seen after the completion of class, all of you have left without switching off the light. So after ghante pore pore jai dekhu sabu light gudako buluchi. So none have that kind of responsibility to switch it off. So सेठी कोन maximum utilize हला. So organization ame देखु केमिति optimum jete bale resource ta utilize करबार अछि whenever the resources are to be utilized at that point of time you need to use it. So that will reduce the unnecessary wastage of resources. Next is here. Profit and prosperity. We need to think of maximizing profit, and we need to think of prospering in the environment. So this is another activity. We need to take necessary steps. Next is your
What is prospering?
if you will continue this program, if you will give your time, then you will prosper. This is all about your exploring. This is all about your enlarging, this kind of things. You will only prosper when you will give your full effort. So profit and prosper. If profit is there, then you will prosper. You will sustain. Okay. Next is your, okay, we can say another point I have added, quality control. best qualitative product we will give. So profit, prosper. So what are the points? जो मैंने न लिखिथिबे आउथरे मुठी कहि जाउची मोर 5 मिनिट रहिला. Attracting, retaining, best place to work, creating competitive environment, developing team individual empowerment, fair employment opportunity, guiding and monitoring, high standard of living, interpersonal relationship, job satisfaction, knowledge management, liberalizing the employees, motivating, negotiating, optimum utilization of resources. Profit, maximizing and prosperity is there. Next, quality control. Quality to come so we should not deteriorate the quality. But Bartaman Rohuchi Ajika Dinare, we are reducing the quality to increase the price, increase the product sales. To increase the product sale, we are reducing the quality. Years back, in 1825, when the bulb, like the electric bulb, initially 2,500 hours as a bulb. Slowly, the company reduced the quality so that the bulb can give us light for 1,000 hours or 1,500 hours, so that they can sell the bulb again and again. See, that is also one technique. But up to that extent, up to that 1,000 hours, the bulb should continue to give the services. I mean, mobile phone mobile phone aguru amar jautila 5 वर्ष 6 वर्ष जे पर्यंत लागी कि नको पड़ी से पर्यंत मोबाइल फोन चली थिला aguru. Now after a year that 30 40 50 60,000 is wasted. Right or wrong?
Right,
Yes.
sir.
So we are reducing the quality, but that is the quality from continuation prospects, but not from the service. Jetiki din service daba, setiki din se qualitative service do. That is what is the motive. That is one approach in management nowadays. Next is the HR manager task is to re-engineer and restructure. I mean, constant re-engineering korutuba, constant restructure korutuba, so that we can implement change. Next is that sustenance. We need to sustain in the market. Continuation, sustenance, development. Entrepreneurship re padiba, sustenance, development is a chapter. Now we need to sustain in the market. Next is your.
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry,
Sir, what is the last point that re-engineer and
engineering and restructuring, sustaining, then task, time. We need to think of the task management is there and time management is there. Task management and time management. Proper utilization of resources. Another is your proper utilization of resources. Saraslim? Proper utilization of resources. Value-based decisions. Value-based decisions. You are reading ethics, work ethics. These are the activities mone rakho. Bujhi parla? So these are the different activities basically from
The last one.
Work ethics. The ethics you are reading, that ethical aspects are to be applied by the HR department in the organization. It's all about your policies. It's all about your practices. It's all about your process. It's all about your principles. Policies, practices, principles, process. So that you can prosper. So if you want to prosper, then ethical principles, ethical practices, ethical policies are to be adopted, ethical processes to be adopted, right? So that what will happen, organization will become a unity one and organization can accept all the challenges. बुझी परिलो पिल्ला माने आ भितरु तमे केतेटा पॉइंट मने रखि परिबो किछि मने रहबा भितरु
हां सर सब रहयो
Yes, sir.
वेरी गुड थैंक यू
अरे ए टू डब्ल्यू जाय हे गेला खाली एक्स वाई जेड बाकी रहले
अच्छा हिंदी You will get these points in different. Whatever boy you read, whatever book you refer, whatever article you refer, the activities are all within this cycle. So what are those? We need to attract quality people. We need to create best place of work. We need to create competitive environment. We need to develop the team individual. And for that, we need to empower people to take their decisions. Autonomy is to be given. Then we can give fair employment opportunities. We need to finally we need to guide them. And again, high status, high standard of living. Okay. Then next is your interpersonal relationships are to be developed so that cordial environment will be created, knowledge are to be managed, liberalizations are to be created so that people will feel free. Okay, then next, with that people will become motivated, then negotiations are to be there, optimum utilization of resources. That is all about your man to M, money to man to machine. Suppose that jette tome 6M padibo, man, machine, money, material, method and market. All aim are to be utilized in an optimal way. Whenever it is required, utilize it, don't waste the resource. Then next is your, we can say, your quality control, then re-engineering, restructuring, sustenance, task control, utilization of resources, value-based decisions, and work ethics. So what we have discussed with this, I have completed my unit 1. What question I have discussed in these 2 classes? I defined what the term of HRM. I have given 2 or 3 definitions. Refer the book. You will get many definitions. Just read it once. You'll get many definitions. Then next is we discuss the scope of HRM. We discuss the object. HRM you can also write. If you're able to understand those objective scope, then you can write the nature and characteristics. Nature characteristics are more or less similar. 1 rupee coin, 1 rupee note. Jaha nature or characteristics of features saman. Then we discussed what are the challenges faced by the HR manager in India. In India, what are the challenges we are facing? Okay, so in India we are facing, so these are the challenges, and what kind of activities are to be taken by the HR manager? These are the activities. Now you can unmute yourself and can ask any questions from this unit 1. If any doubt is there, then I will tell. Any doubt is there, or shall I leave? Shall I leave? Please SMS here. Please write in the chat box so that I can read, because you are not audible. Please. No, I'm not. You are not audible properly. Please write in the chat box and send it. Any other doubt is there?
No, sir.
You SMS. You send in the chat box. Or shall I leave? Shall I leave now?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you then.
Thank you.
Sir.